Holy fuck, that baby carried nice. Put the fucking boost to it. It's on fire, but fuck it. Get that time slip. Holy shit. That fucking thing left nice. Fucking shift that bitch in the air. Woo! Holy shit, that fucker left nice. Holy shit, that was sick. That windshield was covered in oil. Woo! Yeah, this fucking car is badass.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I know there's two types of people that watch these videos that I produce, and there's the people that just want to see the results like this. So that's what this is. This is, we took it out today. We made 5 passes and we improved slightly and we went backwards slightly and we got our goal at the last portion of the day. And there's a entire stuff that we worked at, things that we struggled with, obviously, and we had some troubles, and anybody that races knows stuff like this will happen, especially this is basically the first time this car has ever completed quarter-mile passes. It did 5 today, all over 140 miles an hour. The car held up great, no issues, other than just figuring out the tune and where to launch and whatever else. So I wanted to get this video out, show everybody that it ran the time, and then I want to thank all the people that helped in this video very quickly. And then what I'd like to do is I have so much video and so much information and in car and out of car. And I don't have video when we were struggling, obviously, because we were working on the car. But I would like to say that it's obvious that something like this can't happen without good friends and good sponsors. I did do a build list and price sheet, and I'm going to go over that and release it and make sure I have everything I can think of in there. But the car is in the 8,000 range and is in the 8-second range. It did happen. I know a lot of you are not going to believe it. There are some caveats to that, like I explained when this build first started, where it has to be in the 8,000 range and run the 8-second range. There's some stuff on the car, like I have the 7-inch dash from Holley. Obviously, it's just adding weight. It's not making the car faster. Stuff like that wasn't added in. We have a chute on the car. We didn't use it. We didn't use it at all today. We didn't need it. The chute is extremely expensive. So like I had said in the beginning of this, I want to have like 90% of the safety equipment in the budget if I can. People were saying, don't add money for safety equipment. It should be like lemons. I went back and forth on that. I included a lot of the safety equipment in the budget. I feel like it kind of needed it. One of the things that I don't think I could complete this without was the chute, because we weren't sure if the brakes were going to work. The car has a 13 inspection sticker on it. I don't think it's ever been out since then, and it was a big unknown to be coming out swinging that kind of mile an hour without having some assist if you need it, or if it wanted to go sideways half track, or whatever. You can call me a liar after all of this. That's fine, but we didn't need it. It was nice to have for a safety. We borrowed it, but either case. So I want to do a breakdown and everything else. But again, I wanted to say something like this can't happen with awesome friends and sponsors. A lot of the stuff that was sponsored, all of the stuff that was sponsored is accounted for price-wise. So just think about that in the build. Again, like I said in the beginning, some of this stuff I spent frivolously on to prove a point where you could do this cheaper. Instead of buying the Holley pan, you absolutely could cut like a truck pan, and there's a lot of stuff you can get around. You can use stock rails for this kind of power. I have rails on the car. It's small things. But one of the things I said is I wanted to bump the price up a little bit on some things and purchase some things to make it more realistic, because you could do this even cheaper. Yes, it was zero safety equipment, and you could take this to the track and make one pass and never make one again. They would get very upset with you if it had zero safety equipment and went this fast. So with all of that out of the way, I'd like to say thanks to Mark and Mitch for helping with the car. First and foremost, doing engine swaps, building, fabrication. You know, we had fun doing all this stuff. This car definitely tested our resolve. It was very difficult at times, but the three of us don't really give up, and we saw it as a challenge or something to complete and show people that it could be done instead of giving up on it or modifying what we were going to do. So on the list of people, we have to go down, and man, I know I'm going to forget one or two people. I'm trying my best here to get this video out in a timely fashion, and thank everybody who gave me things and who helped out and who has always helped out. So we have VSracing, my buddy Viren. I bought the VS Turbo and gates and intercooler through him. I've been working with Viren for over 15 years, I think. It's crazy to think that. So this is a VSracing S475. And then I got scratch and dent gates and intercooler from him. So I bought waste gates with missing pieces and I fixed them. And the intercooler has a giant dent in it. So I did stuff like that. He does offer that. You can get stuff from him that's scratch and dent. It's something I've done for years. I usually don't like to get stuff from him unless it's damaged. I'm like, I don't want sponsorship stuff that's real pretty. That's like my shtick. Anyway, Monkey Fab provided all the hotside parts, which are extremely affordable, obviously, to do this, and they worked incredibly. Of course, we use them all the time, and I used a flange, a T6 flange that was already pre-made. He makes this stuff all the time. It's incredible, and pre-built Y fittings for the wastegates. It made building the hotside incredibly easy. Dan Salvatori did most of the hotside, if not all of it, I believe. I think he did all of it, actually. And then I think they did the downpipe too. I can't remember. It was Mark and them were doing that, but Dan did an incredible job on the hot side. And Mark and him cut parts of the front end out to fit the turbo where we wanted that we know works great on Fox bodies. So Jake's Performance provided the torque converter, and they created a budget series converter that they figured would work really good with this and that they want to provide to people on Sloppy. So the converter is working incredible. Everything's good with that also. So shout out to Jake, Cameron, and his boss. They actually provided the 4.8 after all the trouble I had with the other one. Just a stock 4.8, nothing expensive or anything, but with all the help and the struggle, they wanted to give me one. So we priced that out. Obviously, it's not free on the list. I want to thank Brad from Snake Eater Performance. Sorry, dude. Definitely want to thank him for the injectors. He always provides me with injectors, and I give you guys data and feedback, and they work great. I love working with Brad. PCMs for Less provided the cam for this engine. Elgin Industries provided cams for the other engines. Some of them didn't survive, obviously, so I had a grab bag of camshafts that these guys didn't make me pay for, which is extremely nice. The big thing was all of these cams these guys make are great. They work great. The car made the same power on all of the camshafts. It technically made the same peak power, and I believe that any one of them would have been a good result. The original build was for Sloppy Stage 2 and Pack 1218, so that's what's on the price sheet. All of that is reflected. And WARR Performance came out of nowhere. I heard a little bit about these guys, but they had sent me a care package with a throttle body and a bunch of wiring and connectors and adapters and extensions, and I added their throttle body to the list. It is not the cheapest one you can get, so that's another thing where it's padded on the list. You can get cheaper ones, but I think the WARR Performance one is nicer for the small amount more that you pay. And who is up here next? Oh yeah, me and Mike Fab created a chute bracket for us so we could temporarily run a chute. Dan Salvatori made the receiver, welded the tube right to the bumper in the back of the car, as you guys all have seen. So that's just a rough chute mount on there, and we didn't need the chute. So that's controversial, obviously, but we don't need the chute. The car stops fine without it. Everything else on the car came with it when we bought it. We just chose a smart chassis, so people want a pretty car, so we bought a car that really wasn't pretty but had a bunch of money into the suspension, which is extremely obvious when you see that was our first pass. The first pass off the trailer on 16 pounds of boost. He left on, I have to go over the logs. I want to do a video where we go over the logs and more video and data and We left on like 13, 16 pounds overall. The car went 921 off the trailer. Extremely fast. 60's great, wheelie's great, car goes straight. There's almost nothing you have to do. So it goes to be said that this car might not be pretty, it might not look like much, but there is a lot of good parts, and that's what we saw, and that's what we wanted. It didn't matter what it looked like. In fact, the looks are beneficial for an economical build because people don't want ugly cars, and I don't care. So yeah, all that works out. And then big thanks to my wife for not pushing this car into the pond, and we got this thing done, and a lot of it was a struggle, and a bunch of the times I paid way too much attention to the vehicle for a week or two straight instead of my child and my wife. So understanding there, she's very supportive here today, getting the car done and everything else. So I wouldn't be able to do car stuff like that without her. You know, if she hated it and resented it and didn't want me to do it. Well, she hates the car and resents the car anyway, but she knew the goal was important, and obviously, so that's important for your spouse to support your project. So thanks to all those people. I want to put something together that's more substantial. It shows I have so much video of what happened. We had issues that were circumstantial for today. It was hilarious how some stuff just you guys know how this stuff works, and this car especially has really fought us. So it was just funny that the car went 9-0 twice today, and we were like, we're gonna burn this thing in the parking lot. So I would like to elaborate on that in the longer video, so hopefully you like this monologue and pictures. And that's it for now. Enjoy the pass. Thanks. Bye.